Hello and welcome to the debate. I'm your host Sana Maqbool, and today we have a very special guest in our studios, and I'm going to be introducing him without further ado. He's had decades of experience in the national and international media, in both print and electronic, social media, advocacy, culture and management. He's also been the former DG Radio Pakistan, an international broadcaster at Voice of America, and also has been bestowed with the prestigious SLARA Imtiaz in recognition of his excellence in public service broadcasting. We have with us the Federal Caretaker Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Mr. Murtaza Solangi. Thank you very much, Minister, for joining us and being part of this transmission. We're going to be taking a look at a number of issues pertaining to Pakistan today, and I'd like your perspective on that. But starting off with a very important take on the elections. Of course, in Pakistan, the general elections are upcoming, and we have been given a date. We have the leadership, both civil and military, reiterating when it's going to happen, and time and again saying that there is no delay. However, unfortunately, there keep coming up these talks that there is a delay in elections. So I'm going to ask you to clarify for us once and for all, once again on this show, when are the elections due?
Well, Election Commission, the only legal and the constitutional body to organize elections is Election Commission of Pakistan.
Correct.
According to the Constitution of Pakistan, Article 218(3 clearly states that Election Commission of Pakistan is the only constitutional body trusted with holding free, fair and transparent elections. And as we stand, Election Commission of Pakistan has already announced the date of elections, Thursday, February the 8th, 2024. I have full faith both in Election Commission of Pakistan and the judiciary of Pakistan that I think this problem will be sorted out. There may be, if Election Commission decides,
right,
to add few more days, maybe change the date for a couple of days till this, till they ensure this legal 54 days of campaigning. But one thing is clear, that the caretaker government is committed to hand over power to the elected government as soon as the elections are held. So we stand firmly behind Election Commission and the legal constitutional bodies, including the higher judiciary of Pakistan.
Right, absolutely. And while these legal avenues and these constitutional avenues exist, and they're going to evolve now as we proceed, there is this talk as well with regards to why certain political parties, while at the same time demanding elections to be held, are also taking measures which are causing delayed elections, such as, of course, this petition by the PTI. And because of this, now we're discussing all of these issues. Does it make sense for a political party to act in a way which is self-contradictory?
When this news flashed on TV screens and I found out, it sounded very bizarre to me. I was just amused what this action was aimed at, because here is a political party that has been crying foul and campaigning that elections should be held in 90 days. So why would they go and make a petition that would somehow delay this very process? Detract this entire phenomenon. So I was amused as well. What was that? I tried to figure it out, and I used, whatever understanding I have of politics.
Sure.
The only logical and rational explanation that could pop up in my mind was that it looks like the leadership of the party is kind of hopeless or is frustrated with the possible outcome of the elections to be held on February 8th.
Okay.
They probably think that the narrative they built, especially leading up to May 9 tragic incidents, probably they are not too satisfied and hopeful about the results of the elections. So probably they are somehow trying to delay the process and buy time, hoping that probably with the passage of time they will be able to, pull through, and maybe they would get better results. That's the only possible and logical explanation I can think of. I don't have the hard facts.
Sure.
I don't know what exactly their motive was. I have no evidence. However, you judge actions by their consequences, by their results. The result is that they somehow have made a very major effort in delaying the elections.
It is actually causing the delay. So that consequence is actually happening. Another aspect, Minister, is also with regards to what the political parties are demanding and is often cited in conversations, a level playing field. And as I understand it, it's not something that's unconditional. You can't just do anything and get away with it and also then demand a level playing field. So when political parties are asking for level playing fields, what exactly is the understanding here? What is the provision that needs to be given to political parties, and what is the caretaker government stance on it?
Well, election schedule is not announced yet. When the election schedule is announced, then a full-blown electoral campaign would ensue. That would include TV, talk shows, interviews, press conferences, corner meetings, rallies, processions, all those activities. So,
right.
Election Commission of Pakistan has the main responsibility to give equal opportunities to all political players, all political parties that are registered, all candidates that are eligible and allowed per law to contest elections. I have full faith in Election Commission of Pakistan, and we have said this time and again, that we have no favorites. We do not have our favorite horse or horses in this race. It's the people of Pakistan who will decide the candidates as well as their favorite parties. So I resolve and reiterate our commitment to provide equal opportunity, and proof of the pudding is in eating it. You are on the state channel, Pakistan Television. My instructions from day one have been not to discriminate any political party, give equal opportunity to all views when it comes to national politics. So Pakistan Television, Pakistan Broadcasting Corporation, Associated Press of Pakistan, the state media organs will give equal opportunity to everybody, and I would use this opportunity to ask other private media houses to do the same. So we will give all political parties equal opportunities. I can't say about people who are needed by law enforcement agencies. I can't say the same about people who are serving jail term for one or the other reasons. But laws of the land will be in force, and I can assure you that we will give equal opportunity to all political parties. However, you keep hearing voices, oh, we are not getting level playing field, and it's not one party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Many parties are saying that. It looks like they are using this narrative of level playing field to actually get more level and more playing fields for themselves.
That is correct.
That's the garb it looks like. And in Pakistan, playing victim actually pays off. If you can project yourself that you are the victim, you are the oppressed, you are not giving equal opportunity, maybe you would be able to generate more sympathy in the people, and that's politics. And these are political parties, they have every right to complain. Complaining and noises are part of democracy. Democracy is not a graveyard. Democracy in its essence is noisy. There will be complaints, there will be noises. So it doesn't really bother me or my government.
Right, and you're doing your bit, and you've given a reassuring statement as well, so that's great. There's also the concern with regards to the law and order situation in the country, and of course, unfortunately, we've seen a rise in terrorist activities in Pakistan, especially since the US troop withdrawal, and then also since the end of the ceasefire with TTP. And we keep hearing, of course, different names even spring up, which just recently also we have the TJP take responsibility, and a lot of this has been focused on the provinces of KP and Balochistan. And while we talk about elections as well, this also has been cited as one of the major concerns in whether or not we'll be able to proceed further, or should there be a move towards the elections given the current scenario. In your assessment, what really is the current law and order situation of Pakistan? How serious are the threats that are emerging both from within and outside Pakistan, and what are we doing about it?
You can't have free, fair and transparent elections if they aren't peaceful. So ensuring a peaceful election is part of our mandate. It's our responsibility to provide all security cover to the candidates, to the political parties. Sadly, since the rise of terrorism in Pakistan, I would go way back to 2007, 2008, when we had elections in 2008. If you remember, those elections were delayed because of the martyrdom of Murtaza Benazir Bhutto. The elections were due in January 2008, but they were postponed because of the assassination of Benazir Bhutto on December 27, and were finally held, the delayed elections, on February the 18th in 2008. So violence in Pakistani elections has been a news and something that has been concerning. It affected 2008 elections. It affected 2013 elections. If you remember, in what's now Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, many rival political leaders and parties were somehow restrained because the terrorist organization TTP and other terrorist outfits somehow deprived these candidates and parties from effectively campaigning, and somehow gave an extra advantage to other parties. So that's also politics, the politics of violence, depriving some candidates and some others. So going fast forward to today's elections, there are concerns, there are threats to candidates and parties, including Maulana Fazl Rahman. He has been hit before. He has some threats. One of his leaders, Hafiz Hamdullah, was recently targeted in Balochistan. Maulana Sirajul Haq was, his convoy was attacked. So this happens. But as we stand today, despite these challenges and concerns, the state of Pakistan has the resources to manage those violent acts and ensure safety and security to the parties that are vulnerable to those threats. So despite this fact that these problems and threats are serious, we have the capacity and the wherewithal to handle those threats, and I can assure you that given the current level of threat, we can manage these elections.
All right, we've seen that Pakistan has once again talked about the need of ensuring that commitments are fulfilled by the Afghan Taliban regime, including, of course, ensuring that their territory is not used against any other, including, of course, Pakistan's. And previously also we have seen that that hasn't been the case, unfortunately, and there have been safe havens provided. We've also seen actions taken by our own political regimes previously, unfortunately, that have contributed to the current security situation as we stand today. So when we talk about measures being taken to secure the country, we have the National Action Plan, of course, but in terms of where we stand today, has there been a reevaluation, or is there a need to reevaluate our strategy, both in terms of dealing with the political elements that have contributed and also with the Afghan Taliban regime that so far hasn't been able to come up to our expectations?
Thank you. This re-evaluation and review of the policies is already in progress.
Okay.
I'm sure you have seen the statements of the military leadership, as well as the political leadership, as well as the current Prime Minister Anwarul Haque. There is a review and there is a realization. Other political leaders, including Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, recently talked about it. Awami National Party has talked about it, that the policy after August 15, 2021, when Afghan Taliban took over Kabul, our policy of repatriation of TTP terrorists was not a good policy. Because those terrorists repatriated along with their weapons, sophisticated weapons, and they did not seize those terrorist activities. So that's why you see an uptick in those terrorist and violent actions in Pakistan. So there is a realization and the appropriate policies are being implemented. There is appeasement has never worked when it comes to terrorists, and it will never work. So I think our leadership, current cabinet, as well as the political leadership at large, and the military leadership are on the same page on this issue, that we will not tolerate and we will not negotiate with terrorists till they surrender their weapons and they cease their violent actions. There have been a lot of rumors recently, oh, we are talking to TTP in some other country. There's no such thing.
Okay. Foreign
Office has clarified that, Prime Minister has made it very clear, and I use this platform to make say it very clearly, that no negotiations with terrorists are being even contemplated.
Right.
So we have the wherewithal to handle them, and we have warned Afghan government to stop harboring these terrorists, stop giving them safe havens, because those terrorists of different hues and shades are not only a threat to Pakistan, they are a threat to the entire region, all neighboring countries of Afghanistan, as well as the world at large. So if the current Afghan Taliban government pursues the same policy that they pursued before 9/11, it won't work. And the world will not put up with that policy, and Pakistan for sure won't.
Right. In light of actions taken in terms of our own peace and security, there's also the decision that was taken with regards to the illegal foreign nationals in Pakistan, and a deadline was given, and then of course the repatriation process is in place. But unfortunately, even though this is only targeting the illegal foreign nationals, including Afghan nationals in the country, also allowing them a provision to return with the proper documentation, it is still being viewed by certain quarters in a way that that criticizes Pakistan not being able to fulfill its international obligations, even though that has been denied by various leadership, and also in terms of this not being something which is humane in terms of the return of these nationals, and somehow mixes this up with the kind of a provision that Pakistan has given for so many decades to Afghan refugees. Unfortunately, these lines are being blurred between what are refugees and what are illegal foreign nationals. Can you help us understand what really is going on and how this implementation process is working and is targeting only the illegal foreign nationals?
Well, that process has been open and transparent, not opaque. Before this November 1st deadline approached, all those foreign nationals who had no visa, no documentation, no evidence and proof of entering Pakistan legally, and they were not covered under that Afghan citizenship card and POR cards that were issued. Those only people were asked to leave. And as we speak today, over 400,000 people have left Pakistan to their home country, Afghanistan. Most of them, except barring few thousand, have left on their own. And there has not been any major incident that shows that we lack empathy. Most of those people have gone with transport and other facilities that were provided by the state of Pakistan. So, as you rightly said in your introductory remarks on this question, what country has showed hospitality and magnanimity better than Pakistan? There are a few thousand Afghans whose destiny is supposed to be somewhere in Europe or America, have been waiting here in Pakistan since August 2021. And they have not been repatriated to those destinations, while we have hosted millions. So, you know, if they want empathy from us and hospitality, they should look at their own record.
Right.
Do they want us to treat them as Greece treated those people on the boats? No, we don't do that, and we won't do it. So we will continue our policy of magnanimity, but Pakistan will not be a country of soft borders anymore. Pakistan is not a country that people can enter without any documents and stay and do whatever they want, including illegal activities, and engage in violent actions. And we would only be talking about hospitality.
And that happens nowhere.
Yeah. So we want everybody who wants to come to our country with one document, the passport and the visa. Any other form of travel documents will not be acceptable, and we will ensure there is no argument that, oh, some of us have families on the other side, oh, we have some businesses on the other side. No country does that. Kurds today are split in many countries. Kurds live in Iran, they live in Iraq, they live in Turkey, they live in Syria. Do Kurds from one of those countries go to the other country without passports and visas? No. On our eastern border, we have divided families. Go to line of control and see both Gilgit-Baltistan and AJK. On the other side, there are families.
Right.
Can Pakistanis from our Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan cross over to the other side without passport and visa? The answer is no. Same would be families in Punjab and Sindh. So no civilized country, no modern state allows this kind of free movement. Europe, that has new regulations and free movement, has achieved this after the death of millions of people in 2 world wars. So whatever they have achieved it has gone through a process. And if there are some easy movement of people in future around Pakistan, that too will happen after a process.
Right.
It can't happen just willy-nilly.
Absolutely. And speaking about the eastern border, there has been an important development in India as well, with the Indian Supreme Court's ruling that has upheld the illegal decision by their government taken back in 2019 with abrogation of the Article 370 and 35A, which revoked the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. And this is important, especially given the fact that this is not only in complete violation of the UN Security Council resolutions, but in fact is now sanctioned by a judicial system of a country that calls itself the biggest democracy. And while, of course, we have seen that the Prime Minister, in his visit of solidarity to Azad Jammu and Kashmir just recently as well, has also reiterated Pakistan's stance and support for the people of the occupied territory as well, and has said that we will be taking this stance forward as we have previously on various international platforms. What is it that can be done when we talk about such actions? And while we say that they don't change the status, they do open avenues to allow India to go further beyond all the illegal means that it has already used, and even further add to the suffering of the people of the occupied territory. What can we do about this?
The state of Pakistan and the government of Pakistan, Pakistan's Foreign Office, Pakistan's current caretaker Prime Minister, we all have been unanimous for decades that the Kashmir problem is a recognized international dispute. And it was recognized by the most august body of the United Nations Security Council way back in 1948. So when it became a recognized international dispute, it didn't happen because Pakistan approached UN Security Council. It was just the other way around. It was India that went to that forum demanding the cessation of hostilities and ceasefire, and giving a firm commitment that there will be plebiscite and the people of Kashmir will get the option through a fair plebiscite to join India or Pakistan. And Pakistan agreed to it. India has reneged on its commitment and continues to renege on that. So it doesn't matter what Indian Supreme Court does, or for that matter what their parliament does. What happens if Pakistan uses its military power and occupies the land of some other country in violation of the international law? And tomorrow our parliament and our Supreme Court declares that this is part of Pakistan.
Right.
Will it be accepted to the international community?
Absolutely
Will it be
not.
acceptable to United Nations and United Nations Security Council? It won't. Now, the fact that the people of Kashmir, colonized by India, have been in this state of subjugation for over 7 decades, doesn't mean that it becomes their fate, doesn't become their destiny. Sometimes people struggle against occupation for centuries. That, the subjugation of few decades does not take away their right of self-determination. People of Palestine have been struggling. After Nakba, they were thrown out of their lands and their homes. They have been wandering around in the neighboring countries,
right,
all over the world. But they carry the peace of Palestine in their hearts. They don't give up the right of self-determination.
Right.
So it doesn't matter that India today is strategically and financially is in a better position, and the world powers are somehow looking the other way. That does not justify occupation. One or the other day, it will happen. You cannot subjugate people forever.
Right. Absolutely, and I'm so glad, Minister, that you brought up the issue of Palestine as well, because this is something that also requires international attention. And at the moment, of course, it seems that there are a lot of people who have been protesting against what's happening. But what is Pakistan's stance on the matter, and what measures have we been taking, especially through our political and diplomatic channels?
I'm sure you know, after October 7, that incident that happened, and when Israel started disproportionate bombing and annihilation, which comes into the category of genocide,
right,
of the Palestinian people. Pakistan has been vocal. Pakistani government, Pakistani parliament, Pakistani Senate, Pakistan's permanent representative at the United Nations, Munir Akram. We have all been vocal, and Pakistan has been part of all those diplomatic initiatives, both by OIC as well as United Nations. And Pakistan continues its diplomacy to provide relief to the people of Palestine, and will continue doing it. We stick to the UN Security Council resolutions. We stick to the principle of two-state solution, a free, contiguous state, not truncated, not divided and split into wholes. One unified Palestinian land where Palestinian people can live with peace and dignity side by side. And we don't think it's an Islamic or Muslim issue.
Right.
It's a human rights issue.
Absolutely.
There are Palestinian Christians whose places of worships, their homes, their lands were occupied, and they are denied of their rights. There were Palestinian Jews. So it's not the matter of religion or faith. And it's not Muslims against Jews either. Jewish people historically have lived peacefully side by side with their Muslim communities in Maghreb, what is called, in East Africa and other Arab countries. Jewish people have never faced discrimination and anti-Semitism historically. It's just the other way around. It was in Europe where they faced, genocide,
right,
and Holocaust. Holocaust did not happen on any Muslim land. And as part of our faith, Muslims accept the prophet Moses as our own prophet. It's part of our faith. So there is no religious discord here,
sure,
that Muslims have any problem with Jewish people. We have problem with Zionism, which is a racist ideology subjugating not only the Palestinian people and their lands, but it's against the Jewish people as well. There are prominent Jewish personalities in the world, intellectuals, politicians, who abhor, who criticize the Zionist policy, who do not want a pure Zionist Jewish state of Israel, who want dignity and peace for their Palestinian people.
Absolutely. Let's take a look inwards as well in Pakistan. We know that when the caretaker set up came into play, of course, you inherited a very difficult economic situation. But we've also seen that in this tenure, we've seen great economic improvement, including the PSX, which saw a record high of more than 67,000 points. The rupee strengthened. And we have also the first review, a staff level agreement by the IMF as well. So these are great developments. But what lies ahead now from here onwards till the end of the SBA and till the elections and onwards? Are we leaving something for the next elected government?
And I would add a few more things.
Sure.
For example, if you remember when our government took over, the rupee had a free fall. It was just going berserk. Many people were saying that, you know, it had almost touched 350 rupees for a dollar. And many people were saying that, oh, it might go for 500 rupees for a dollar. Just by using some administrative measures, we saw the appreciation of rupee.
Right.
And now it's fairly stable, and whatever the value is now of dollar versus rupee, it's determined by the market, not by speculators, not by smugglers who were smuggling dollars, and those hoarders who were holding dollars in their pillows and their cupboards and etc. So I think, and also the grey market, the illegal foreign exchange, hawala hundi.
Right.
So we took strict actions, and that's why we have stabilized the dollar rupee, parity. Also, there was a huge power theft going on in the country. By using administrative measures, the federal caretaker government, in cooperation with provincial authorities and other law enforcement agencies, over 60 or probably 70 billion rupees were recovered from those power thefts. So all these actions taken together, including the Special Investment Facilitation Council initiatives, new investment opportunities, new MOUs, agreements in the fields of information technology, agriculture, mining, defense production. There are good economic vibes. Also, if you remember, caretaker Prime Minister's visit to China, we had around 20 MOUs and agreements, and recently you saw the Kuwait UAE visit.
Right, absolutely.
So that also contributed, Saudi Arabia. So, our commitment was to stabilize the economy and hand over the reins of power to the future elected government in a better shape.
Right.
Better than we had inherited. That's our commitment. And as we are approaching elections, we will continue these policies, including privatization that was approved by the previous government. We will continue doing that so that our country is economically stabilized. And now we are in the standby agreement with the IMF. The second review has just been concluded, and we hope that next month we'll get over 700 million tranche, $700 million tranche. So we are all set to stabilize the economy and give a better Pakistan to the next elected government, and give them a handover note that this is how we took over, this is what we have done. We think this is how it should be done, but we leave it to the next elected parliament and the elected government, because the preamble of our constitution says this country will be run by its chosen elected representatives.
Absolutely. Last question, Minister. As your capacity as the caretaker information minister, what has been your vision for the state media? What measures have you taken? And again, as you say, you're going to leave it better. What is the direction for the next one?
Well, if I have to sum up in one sentence, I would say that I would like Pakistan Television, Pakistan Broadcasting Corporation, Associated Press of Pakistan and other state media organizations to be professionally run with professional editorial boards, with less executive influence and with greater independence, but run by professional leadership. But that's my dream. I can't, you know, to an extent go beyond my limited mandate.
Of course.
This is what I have a dream, and I hope the next elected government will pursue this and will bring Pakistan Television and other state media outlets at par with great global broadcasters at their level, so that we could compete and get even better.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Minister, for joining us and sparing your time. That's all that we have. We had the Information Minister with us, and you heard the conversation on a number of issues in Pakistan. That's all that we have from this transmission, and we'll keep coming back with more. Stay tuned.